What is good, people? Welcome back to another video. This is my 1998 Mark III Golf that we bought for £1,100. The aim of the series is to build something cheap and crappy just like this car right here and turn it into something nice. We're going to be doing engine work, interior work, wheels and suspension work and much more. The average UK household has £300 disposable income once bills and activities have been paid for. So what I wanted to do is use that as my budget building this car in each episode going forward to show you guys you can build something like this yourself. In the last episode, we gave this car a service, replaced all 3 belts to make sure that this engine is in tip-top condition. In this episode, we have all of these parts to fit to this car. I cannot wait to get it all installed. It's going to make a massive difference to this car. So if you're excited, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Let's get on, shall we? Mark III Golfs can look a little bit boring on the front end in stock form, but luckily for me, there are tons of aftermarket parts we can buy for this car. We've got headlights, grills, bumpers, intakes, lights, splitters. We could do tons of stuff. The first batch of mods, we have got genuine VR6 splitter, which is just a bit deeper than the one we have, so it's just going to make the car look a little bit lower to the ground, better looks. We also have smoked indicators and smoke side repeaters to match. So let's get all of these parts whacked on and we'll see what they look like. We're going to be starting off with the indicators first. Now with the Mark IIIs you've got a couple of options. You've got your standard clears that we already have on the car. You have amber indicators, which I think are on sort of your base model cars, and then we have our smoked ones which we've just bought off eBay. Let's whack the ambers on and then see what these look like. Kicking off with the first mod, I'm going to swap out the indicators because they're cheap and cheerful, they give a cleaner look to the front end and they're easy to install. All we need to do is remove the inner reflectors, which I'm already halfway through, and pull out the tab holding the indicator into the bumper. After that, unscrew the bulb holder and screw it into the new indicator and fit in reverse order. So next up we have these side repeaters. Now you'll see that they're already smoked, what we already have on the car, but these ones look a lot better and a lot newer. So these will tie in with the fronts just fine. It'd be rude not to do the side repeaters as well so they all match. At this point you need to be prepared to break them out as they can be 30 years old, but we're putting in brand new ones and I won't be using these again, so we're all good. Swapping out for a deeper splitter on any car will give it a more aggressive look and bring the front end closer to the floor. That's why I'm installing this genuine VR6 splitter. Before we install it, I'm going to treat the plastic and bring the colour back to how it used to 30 years ago. Now we can take off the crusty original. There's just 2 T25 screws in the arch on each side and 2 underneath. Because we'll be lowering the car in this video, at some point the splitter will hit the floor, so I normally disconnect the trays from the splitter so it can flex more. Now look at the difference a few changes makes to the front end of the car, and we're not even close to being finished on the front end either. Because I was so impressed with the results of the solution finish, I decided to do the bumper and grille as well. Yeah, it'd be rude not to. guys, that is the new front end for today. We're going to be doing tons more stuff. We've still got headlights, grille, bumper, we've got intakes and stuff to fit. Sort out them plates because, yeah, we all know it's a German whip. We don't put it on a number plate. Splitter makes a massive difference to the front end. I just think it looks a little bit more aggressive. And all of this cost us under £70, so not too bad considering what we've done and the drastic change the splitter makes to the car. Now we have done all of the front end in this video, it's time to sort out the back. So we have these lucid half smoked crystal rear lights to go on. Luckily for me, on the convertibles and the hatchbacks, they both have the exact same shape light, so we can swap out all the aftermarket and original hatchback ones and they'll fit on this convertible just as easy. The good thing about Mark III's as well is there's tons and tons of different design rear lights. We do have these that we did pick up quite cheap on Marketplace, so we're going to chuck them on, see how they look. If they're not to my taste, I can just go pick up another set, no problem. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and then let's get them whacked on. Swapping out the rear lights on some modern cars involves removing lots of boot trim, and in some cases removing the whole rear bumper. On this though, it's all easily accessible. There's 3 8mm nuts to remove. The bulb holder just clips in, no need to disconnect any wiring, and with a bit of wiggling the whole thing comes off. After a quick clean, on goes the new one, then the 3 8mm nuts, and then clip on the bulb holder. You have a Mark III yourself, they tend to suffer with water ingress in the back, so if your boot's full of water and you have issues that way, one common problem is the rear light seal, literally this part you can see right now. What happens is the foam deteriorates and doesn't create a seal anymore. What you can do is go online and buy yourself some closed cell foam that stops water getting through it. Order it online, take this off, draw out a template, cut it out and then replace yours with this. So see if that works first before you start ripping out window seals and stuff like that. So top tip. There we go, so the new rear lights are on from Lucid. Like I said before, we have got the sort of half crystal, half smoked look. I don't think they look too bad, what do you think? Obviously, we have got the option to put the GTIs back on. We have tons of options as well, lots of different aftermarket options and lots of OEM style ones as well. So if I decide I don't want to, I can easily swap it out, but I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Should we go with these or stick the GTIs on? That is the exterior done for this video. I'm going to be popping over to the inside of the car to do some bits there. Keeping it in with the interior, we have this thing that's missing. Obviously in the glove box, the previous owner gave me this one. Obviously it's broken. Luckily we already had this one laying around, so we're just going to quickly connect this one up. Oh yes, and then it should So the door open switch doesn't operate the light, but it doesn't matter too much. As long as I've got some kind of light, I'll be alright with that. Just clip it back up, job done. Next thing on the list, we have this gear knob. I think this one's actually Mark II. I'm not sure, if you guys put in the comments down below. But on every single Volkswagen I have bought, the past 3 or 4 ones, they've all had this GTI, this Mark III anniversary replica gear knob, because they're so cheap and they look the part and they're easy to fit. I think you can pick these up on AliExpress, eBay for like £9, so why not? So we're going to install it now. Take the old one off. Oh my god, what's this? What's this? What is this? If you're watching this and you've done this, what are you, why? Why have you done this? Some people with these cars, honestly. Why don't you just do it properly? Anyway, so in the kit we have these 3 thread adapters. They literally do what they say on the tin, so they adapt the thread of whatever car you have to accept this gear knob. There you go. So flip this inside out, poke this through, and we get a cable tie, and just tie this end just like this. If you have a rubber one or one that's in battered condition, give me a message on my social medias in the link in the description and I can make one for you. And then new gaiter, stretch that back over. Happy with it so far, put that on. Where's the sticker? Just there. When it's in the right position. Beautiful. On to the next. As you can see, it comes with a stereo. However, the stereo itself doesn't work. So the wiring going into the aerial on the car side is actually damaged. So I'm going to end up ordering a new stereo anyway. While this one is pretty much useless because I can't get any signal anyway, we're just going to rip this one out. Out comes that, and in goes in. Oh, look at that. Nice little poverty spec Volkswagen stereo blank. These are obviously on like your really base models that didn't want to fork out the extra money for a stereo. So while I'm in the process of ordering a new one, that looks loads better. YouTube builds progress at rapid speeds, and viewers I've spoken to can feel like building cars is way out of reach. I disagree though. I've always said little progress is progress. So whether you're debadging a car, installing coilovers, replacing lights, or doing an engine swap, it's all progress to get you closer to your goal, so don't feel discouraged, just whack out the spanners and do what you can. The next modification we're going to be doing is installing these chrome door handles. You'll find these on 3.5 convertibles, which is pretty much what we have, but sort of the facelift model. They all come in chrome ones as far as I believe. A couple of other parts around the car have chrome accents as well, so it's definitely a good upgrade to do, and we're just going to be swapping them out. These ones are actually metal as well, so as you're opening the door, there's more of a satisfying feel when you're actually opening it. You've got a more physical open. Starting on the handles, first I need to pop out this door handle trim and unplug the wing mirror and window connections. Behind the trim shows 2 Phillips screws we need to remove. In this case they were already missing, so I'm already halfway there. Next up is removing the speaker. On the convertible models, the speaker is bolted through the door card into the door bracket using these screws, so they need to come out as well. Then unplug the speaker connector. Once that's done, I take out the door lock pin by simply unscrewing it out and pry the door card out, releasing it from its clips. Now I have access to the handle. It's a case of sliding it the opposite way, unhooking the rod and swapping it with the chrome on. And look at the subtle difference from each side. Alright guys, we have been making some brilliant progress today. Rear lights are now on. All of the interior has been hoovered and just gave it a quick wipe down. We've got the stereo blank in. We have done so much more in today's video, but we have one more modification to do. We're going to be putting some coilovers on this car. But before we do that, I'd love it if you guys subscribed and like this video. It really does help out the channel and the build series. If you are excited for something like this coming forward, let me know in the comments down below. This is something that I've put together because I appreciate the times are tough at the minute, and I can appreciate all of the crazy builds that you tend to see on YouTube, silly amounts of budgets going into the cars, and I kind of want to bring it back to reality and show you guys something that the average person can afford and the average person can spanner away at. And this is what birthed this series, is I wanted to show you guys that you could build something like this for yourself. You don't have to be a mechanic, have stupid amounts of tools or anything like that. What we're going to do first is install these. These were actually taken off my Mark II Golf when we put it on air suspension, but the Mark IIs and Mark IIIs are interchangeable. All we need to do is swap over the top mount. So these technically don't owe me anything, but usually you can pick up a set of coilovers for about £100. That will be added on to the end of our budget. I'm not going to cheat. These were pre-set up for what was on the Mark II already, and that wasn't mega low. So what we're going to do is install them on the car first, then make our adjustments, drop the car, adjust the ride height, and sort of go from there. So if you are excited to see this car lowered on the front, let me know in the comments down below, and let's crack on. Personally, lowering your car is the most effective way of improving the way it looks. If you was to buy some expensive stancy wheels but on stock height, it can look a bit goofy, but you can pull off being slammed on stock wheels just fine. There are tons of different brands to choose from, and some do the job better than others, but I always go with the cheap and cheerful ones and save the extra cash for other mods. To install coilovers, we need to remove the crusty lowering springs that are on the car already. Best opportunity to loosen the top nut, as when the wheels are in the air, this nut can spin if it's on too tight. First, all we need to do is remove the wheel, disconnect the brake line and ABS wiring from the shock absorber. Then the 2 pinch bolts holding the hub to the shock absorber. And then remove the top mount nut. Out comes the old one, and in goes the new one. I made sure to put in fresh top mounts before installing the new suspension, as I have no idea how old the old top mounts are. Now it's a case of installing in reverse order. It is literally that simple. Not far off. I think if we got another 10-15mm lower, we'd be sort of flush with the tyre and arch. I jacked the car back up and wound the coilovers down a bit more to get rid of the arch gap. I also adjusted the near side to match the offside, as there was too much negative camber. I then dropped the car back down and I still wasn't happy, so I went a little bit lower, but make sure you watch to the end, as I'm going to take it out in the light and show you once it's all sorted out. Moving on to the rears now, we have one lower bolt connecting the rear axle to the shock absorber and one nut holding the top mount in. With everything out, on goes the coilovers, making sure the bolts are secure and the top mount is properly installed. Oh my god, it is pitch black yet again. 10 past 11. and I've been working since the morning. So hopefully you guys appreciate all the hard work I've been putting into this car.
The following day.
Right guys, it is the next morning. I feel as revitalized as I could do. Remember, I was literally working the entire day yesterday trying to get this car finished so I can put some content out for you guys. I am absolutely knackered. I haven't had much sleep and my body's aching. So I just took the car out for a little drive, and the coilovers, they're beautiful. I've almost got it perfect first time. If you look here, back end is just tucking a little bit. Front end's got a small gap. I think if we drop the front end a little bit just to match, and I think we'll be all good to go. Or maybe, because the rear arch actually sits lower than the front arch, maybe we need to drop the back a little bit and drop the front a little bit. But let me know what you guys think. I think this car is slowly but surely getting better each time. Front end, I've always said VR6 splitters are a must on Mark III Golfs. They just make the front end look so much more aggressive. The splitter is a much nicer shape, and because we've not connected it to the sides, we've got a little bit of flex. Because we've gone a lot lower on the front, we're sort of at this point. We could probably go a little bit lower, but at the minute I'm sort of happy with it. But because it's a genuine splitter, we do have the reassurance that if we was to hit a speed bump or anything like that, it's just going to eat them up for breakfast. Moving on to the interior, guys, I always say nice little incremental differences over a long period of time makes all of the difference. So we've got the chrome handles on, little stereo blank, and the anniversary gear knob on, which I think look really well. Interior has been hoovered up and it looks really nice. Beautiful. Coming to the back now, we have got the rear lights on, and I must say they're kind of growing on me. I kind of prefer those to the GTI. Yeah, I quite like them. So let's add everything up and let's see if we've kept within the £300 budget. As I mentioned before, I didn't pay a penny for these coilovers, but a normal set of used coilovers will probably set you back about £100. I'd always recommend replacing the front and rear top mounts as well, which is another 25 quid on top. So the VR6 splitter, you can get reproduction ones on eBay for about £19. This one is a genuine one, so expect to pay a little bit more for these, even if they are used. Smoked indicators were £32 for both, and the side repeaters are £19 for both. Anniversary gear knob is £9. Prices seem to be all over the place for rear lights, but these ones set me back about £40. The 3.5 chrome handles normally are sold in bundles. You get these, you also get the door latch, and these chrome brackets. Normally the whole kit will set you back about £50, so this one I'd probably say 25 quid. The new interior light was about £10 and the stereo blank was about £20. So adding everything up is going to cost you £299. I did not make that up, £1 within budget. So if you guys are looking to do these mods yourself, expect to pay about £299. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, how the progress of the car is going. If you are excited for this build, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. I've been toying with the idea of raffling this car off so you guys could have a little history of Project 7. If you are interested in something like that, make sure to put it in the comments down below. If there's enough interest, I probably will do it. If not, I'll probably just keep it and enjoy it for myself. So with that being said, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. This build is for you guys watching, the average consumer, not necessarily have tons of money to spend, but want to have a nice car. They want a spanner on the weekends, and this build is perfect example that you guys can buy something cheap and do little changes every time payday hits and build it into something really nice. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for the build series going forward. So I will see you in the next one. Peace! The aim of the series is to build a cheap, crappy car just like this one, and I forgot what I was going to say.